Welcome to EDOD 651, On-Demand Learning and Performance Improvement. I am your instructor, Dr. James Folkestad, and I'm a professor in the School of Education. I'm also the director for the Center for the Analytics of Learning and Teaching, which is known as CEALT. We are doing research on the Colorado State University campus on the use of big data to understand learning and teaching. And we'll touch a little bit about or on this in this course. If you need to get a hold of me during the semester, you can email me. My email address is listed, and we can schedule a time to meet or to chat online. Let's go through the syllabus for this course and look at the expectations and the requirements. This course is an introduction on high-impact on-demand learning solutions. In this course, we'll talk about the advances and significance of digital content for designing training programs and updating our knowledge and skills. Specifically, we'll spend a considerable amount of time talking about learning theories and how to tie what we know about cognition and learning into the delivery of digital content or high-impact on-demand learning solutions. Let's take a look at the learning objectives for this course. First, we want you to describe some of the affordances of digital content or high-impact on-demand solutions for learning and training. We want you to define the purpose, value, and primary elements of high-OD performance solutions. We want you to engage and contribute to the learning network in this class. We'll do that through a number of different mechanisms. We want you to compare and contrast high-OD asset types in regards to specific learning objectives and some of the advantages of using those for cognition, learning, and performance. We want you to critique and align performance-based learning objectives for high-OD assets. And we want you to identify at least 3 areas where learning analytics could be useful for engaging learning and training. In the class, you'll develop a high-impact on-demand toolbox where you can place some of the digital assets you create, and you're going to create some basic high-OD assets, including retrieval practice activities, audio, visual, and software simulation assets. The required textbook for this particular course is called Make It Stick: The Science of Successful Learning. It's by Peter Brown. Please pick up a copy of this book. We'll also have additional articles that will be assigned as we move through the course. As far as grading and assignments go, they are laid out here. We are going to use a blog to create a learning network in the class, so there'll be some points associated with that. We'll also have some ideation planning documents that we'll create for high-OD assets. I'll have you create a high-OD toolbox or sort of an e-portfolio for some of the content you create. We'll have some online discussions. We'll have a number of retrieval practice activities, which we'll talk about later, that you'll engage in. Just note that those are low stakes. You'll create some high-OD assets. These are basic assets that we'll create. We will have some learning objectives activities, so how to write learning objectives and review around that. And then the last is the participation. Just being engaged in the class is associated with 100 points. Total points, 1,000. The grade in the class is a straightforward grading system. Be based on points or percentage, and the grade will be assigned. In this section of the syllabus, I've provided a description of the major assignments. You can read these on your own, but they're reflected in the grade breakdown and the assignments that we talked about earlier. I wanted to make a special note of the Learning Analytics Transparency and Privacy Statement. We will discuss learning analytics briefly in this course. It's not a major focus, but it is something we will discuss. And I wanted to let everybody know that we will be collecting data on your behaviors, so the learner behaviors in the class. We're going to keep those behaviors private, so you'll only see the information and data on your usage, and we will use Colorado State University's ethical principles of learning analytics to guide the usage of that information. But I just wanted to make you aware that we will be collecting some behavioral data in the Canvas quiz logs and also within the video usage, so we can take a look and see what the behaviors look like, and we'll reflect on those and use it as a learning experience as we move through the course. And the last thing I really wanted to spend a little bit of time on and to place emphasis on was the suggested learning methods section of the syllabus. We're going to be talking about a number of these different elements as we move through the course, and they will make more sense to you, I hope, by the end of the class. But here's some things I'd like you to think about in regards to learning methods. For one, embrace the challenges. There's going to be some challenges in this course, and I've made it intentionally challenging because that is actually beneficial for learning. So just remember that as we move forward. Embrace those difficulties. Also, I have mixed up the course a little bit and sort of interleaved the different topics. So we will do a little bit of back and forth between subjects. This actually turns out to be beneficial for learning as well, and that's one of the reasons that I did it. So that makes it, like I said before, that makes it difficult, more difficult, but it actually is good for retention and long-term learning. So embrace that difficulty. We're going to space stuff out a little bit and get you to practice over time. And we'll talk more about that learning theory and how that can be beneficial for long-term retention. And then, plan to re-challenge yourself not only during this course, but after the course as well. Come back and re-challenge yourself in this particular content so that you can retain that content and that information over the long term. These are all elements that we'll discuss in the class, and you'll learn more about them, and they'll probably make a lot more sense, like I said, by the end. But I just wanted to point some of the challenges and the interesting elements of this particular course, because it's going to be a little bit different than maybe what you're traditionally used to in a online course of this type. So embrace the challenges. If you have questions or you have concerns, just let me know. I'm looking forward to having everybody in the course and engaging with everybody as we move forward. That's it on the syllabus. There is some additional content in the syllabus which you can read through on your own. If you have questions about any of the things we've covered, just send me an email and we can cover those.